Welcome to Start Before You're Ready, the podcast that proves that you don't need to wait for the perfect moment to begin your journey towards better health and happiness. I'm your host, Kelly Young. Remember, the first step is often the hardest, but it's always worth taking. Hey guys, it's Kelly, and I'm back with another episode of Start Before You're Ready. Today, my guest is somebody that I am so excited to share with you. She has been an incredible part of the KBC community since 2013, and it feels like even longer than that. I don't ever remember time before her. She is a star student, and she is the kind of person that when she's in your class, the energy is just a little different. She shows up in a strong way, where not only does she get excited about her own workout, she tries to get everybody in the studio excited as well, which is great, especially in certain classes. I know as an instructor, I very much appreciate having her in my class, and I know all the instructors would say the same thing, but now there's a little twist. She is an instructor. So Lori, actually, I've been asking her for a long time, and I kind of pushed her, yes, I need you, Lori, and I think that really helped her take care of she did not really need the credentials. She has, I'll let her tell you about her background, but she is far more qualified than any of us to be teaching group fitness. But it doesn't matter. You still need to be a certified fitness professional, and no one on my team is uncertified, and it doesn't matter what her credentials are. So she had to go through and do that. And just to talk a little bit about Lori as an instructor, I mentioned how she showed up as a participant. Think about times 10. She shows up as an instructor with such incredible energy. Feedback so far has been overwhelming, really. Everyone just loves her class. She puts so much into it. I always tell everybody on my team, the thing I care most about is that you care. That's what matters the most. You don't have to be the best in anything. You don't need to be perfect. We all have things we're working on, but you just need to go in there and really care about the experience that you're delivering and make sure that our members leave feeling good. And Lori exemplifies that in every single way. That's the feedback that we've gotten. She's put so much into her class. She plans. She loves themes. She's just amazing. So we're going to talk all about that. But let me go ahead, Lori, and let you introduce yourself to the Start Before You're Ready podcast community.
Great. Thank you, Kelly. I'm so happy to be here. My name's Lori Molnar, and I grew up in the Arlington, Fairfax area. I've been in this area all my life, come and gone for school, went to Virginia Tech for undergrad, and went there as an engineer major, and almost immediately, was like, this is not for me. I just couldn't see myself doing it. I love math, I love numbers, but it wasn't for me. And I had right away started going to the gym at school because I've always loved movement, and started hearing about this exercise physiology major. By the end of the first semester, I had transferred into that major, started working at the gym, and then started teaching step aerobics for tech aerobics back in the day when I had my scrunchie and my bright pink leotard. So just knew I loved movement, but it grew. Part of the exercise physiology degree was working with the cardiac rehab program at Tech, and they had a fabulous program, and there were many different levels, and I worked with a group of men who had, I'm going to say, graduated up to going out and running on their own, and we would just go with them just in case anything happened. They were amazing. Those were my favorite times at Tech, running that 5 a.m. run with those men. And then it led to me going to the football games with them. And I had this great relationship with these men who at the time were like my grandfather. So then from there I went to Wake Forest and got my master's in exercise science and cardiac rehabilitation. Worked in the program there, very similar to what I had done at Tech, and graduated, moved up to Connecticut, worked in outpatient rehabilitation for almost 2 years. That's where I met my husband, Bill, and had my first daughter. As soon as I had my daughter, I was like, I need my mom. I need to go back home. And Bill was wonderful. We uprooted. I took him away from his family, and that's how we ended up back down. He's from Connecticut. He was born in, up in Connecticut, Danbury, Connecticut. Mm-hmm. Yep. My mom's from Jamestown, New York, and up there. So I have a lot of relatives up in like Buffalo and Rochester as well.
Awesome. So you moved back to Virginia and you had baby number 2.
Baby number 1, talking about starting before you're ready, was a big surprise. So I started being a mom before I was mentally, but who is ever ready? But so I had Nicole up there, moved back down here, and there's 7 years between Leah and Nicole, because it took a while for us to realize, wow, we're okay at this. We're gonna have another. But so when we got back down here, I realized I needed to work and to be best mom I could be, but also work. Said teaching is the answer. I'd have my summers off. The hours are great. And I had 2 routes I could go. I could either go the health and physical education route, or I could do a science. With my background, I could have done science. I didn't want to have SOLs. I didn't want to worry about standard of learning tests. I mean, and I chose PE, of course, and so I went from sharing my love of movement with, 60 to 80-year-olds to now 12-year-olds, similar yet different, and just different ways of motivating. And I really love sharing my love of movement. So I got my teaching degree from George Mason and been teaching. Rachel Carson was my first job, and I've stayed here. This is my 25th year here.
Wow. 25 years of teaching middle school.
Health and PE, 25 years. That also comes with human growth and development and all that good stuff that goes along with that. But yeah, I absolutely love it. And I wouldn't change my path at all. I wouldn't do anything different.
I love that all those middle schoolers are getting to experience the awesome energy of Lori Molnar. That makes me very happy. And I know we've talked about this before, Lori, but tell us a little bit about, a 25-year career in teaching, especially since you've been doing the same age group, and how has it changed?
So the biggest change I've seen really came with COVID, with just recent. So I think of my career honestly in pre-2020, post-2020. The kids honestly are not motivated to move anymore. And it's very sad to me. I feel like I'm working extra hard, not all of them, but for a good number of them, to get them to want to move. The behaviors are different. They have a need to like touch and socialize. You can see where they went through during their formative years. They went through a period of time where they were sheltered, off to themselves, because they have an overwhelming need to touch. I bet you I say stop touching to 12-year-olds about 100 times a day. But the motivation to move is probably the biggest difference I see. And I do believe we're swinging back. The pendulum's coming back. I do believe it's coming back. And working with this age group, it's so interesting to me because even at this, some people have that intrinsic motivation to move. There's just, they want to move. And it starts young. I see it in, they have it and they don't. And the ones that have it, obviously, they make my job easy. But I worry about the ones who don't have it. How can I get them to enjoy it? And I tell them that it doesn't matter what you do. Just find something that you enjoy moving, how you enjoy moving.
And going back to that, so you have 2 daughters now. Nicole's
Yes.
27
Yep.
and Leah's
20. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And both of them have worked out with KVC. Speaking of kids and movement, both of them have had pretty good stints with KVC. I know Leah was using KVC for her conditioning for volleyball
She
this
sure
summer.
was.
She was coming to Zone, and I loved having you and her in
That's
class.
why, it brings me such joy when I see parents and sons or daughters, mom and dad, sons and daughters working out together. And yes, like that is like, sounds so silly, but my dream come true when the girls want to be with me and work out with me. And like, I didn't make it to the Turkey Leg Terminator because Leah called me like 2 days before and said, Mom, I registered us for a 5K. And I was like, what? She like wanted to run with me.
She didn't love to run before.
No, she does not at all. And oh my gosh. And she kicked my butt. She did so good. And she said, we're going to stay together. We're going to finish together. And I was just in heaven. It was fabulous. But, and she's going to do that. She's doing the Get All You Can Get Out of the Holidays program that we have for students. So she'll be in starting next week. She'll be coming back.
I love that. I'm so excited to get her back into the studio. That's awesome. And both of your girls played volleyball in college.
Yes. So no, just Leah. Nicole played volleyball. She broke her ankle in high school. She couldn't play anymore. Leah is playing up in New Jersey at William Patterson.
You told me about the up and back, getting to the game.
Yes, as much as I could. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I know that world.
Yep.
It's worth it.
It absolutely is.
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Well, let's talk about you. So how long, I know we talked a little bit about it in the beginning, but I do love your origin story. Can you tell us a little bit about what drew you to the community?
Yes. So, and I can't believe yes, I can. I love you. I can't believe I shared this. But the very first time I saw the community, I was at Dairy Queen. It was during the summer. Summertime is usually Dairy Queen time. I love a chocolate dipped cone. And we were outside. And I saw the workout. It was at the old lot before King Spa was there. And I'm like eating my cone. And I'm pretty social. Don't mind talking to people. And you had just finished. You were wrapping up and you were walking around. And I can't believe I did this. But I'm like licking my cone. And I walk up to you and I was like, so what's going on here? What's this? And with my cone is, and you told me all about it. And at the time it was like, I think we were just putting money in you were like, oh, you can just bring money and pay as you go. Or I just remember, do you remember that?
By 2013, I think I was a little more sophisticated than that, but you never know what I tell people. I just want them to come. I'll just be like, just come.
Yeah, that's what you said. Pretty much, that's what you said. And so that was in the summer. And then Anne-Marie Wolf had done a summer program with you that summer. And I must have told her about my seeing you. And she's like, oh, come do it. So by fall, I joined and then did the winter contest. And Deb Kelly was my captain that winter, and that's where I started meeting my people. Yes. Oh. So it was like Betty Martin, Sarah Shortino, Sylvia Donovan, all
also with us.
Yes, all
like in their 60s and rocking it.
And like when I say like you find, that's what I love about this community and fitness community. You find your people, and it's not just the fitness. We're teaching, like I'm teaching my kids today in health about physical, emotional, social health. It's all ties in together, and we're getting the physical, yes, but we're also getting that social. We're feeding all areas of health that we need. But yeah, so once I did that winter contest, I was in, and here I am.
I love that. That's a great story. And the ice cream, I don't actually remember specifically with the ice cream, but picking people, that was my joke. I picked people up at Dairy Queen. Like that was like my pickup spot. Like I would pick them up off the benches at Dairy Queen and like recruit them. I miss being in that spot. I'll tell you, I had Starbucks and I had Dairy Queen. That was like, gosh, feeders.
I have such fond memories of being at that lot, like in the winter in the snow, and my eyelashes being like frozen. You know what I mean? Like so many good memories of that lot.
Yeah. That was one of the original lots. I absolutely love that. Now, this is something that I want to talk a little bit about with you because you have been on a journey with your health and nutrition for a long time. And I think you're in an incredible spot right now.
Yes.
And I'm really, really proud of you. And it's always a work in progress. And people might see and think it's easy, but it's not easy. What would you say your biggest accomplishment since starting, or your biggest milestone?
I said earlier, I love numbers. I'm very driven by numbers and data. I do the InBody. I do it either through, KBC. I did the DW for a couple years, and then we might talk about it more. But after breast cancer, the oncologist referred me to a dietitian, and I do the InBody every month with her. When I started with you, I wanted to get the D formation with the skeletal muscle mass, body fat, and I'm there. I got it. I'm finally there. And that, as I've been working with a dietitian, I've been so focused on muscle mass, maintaining the muscle mass. Because if I maintain the muscle mass, I knew the body fat would come. I'm going to say I'm most proud of that D, and you know what I'm talking about, because
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You said the funniest thing to me one time. I was close. We were looking at. I was close. I wasn't there yet, and you said, "Lori, you're one chicken breast away." Like, what? And I was like, "Yes, I am."
Yeah.
So that's probably what I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, and you should be. And the D is, so what we're referring to, just to give some clarification. The InBody is the machine that we use to measure not just your weight, but your skeletal muscle mass and your body fat percentage. And there's a analysis where there's like a little graph, and it shows you the ratio between your weight and your body fat and your skeletal muscle mass. And honestly, like, genetics plays a huge role in skeletal muscle mass. So there are women that are very, very low on skeletal muscle mass, and they're like a really big C, like a really big C. I don't ever mention the letter D to them. I don't even mention the letter I to them. I just say we want to make your C smaller, okay? Because they're probably, unless they really made it their job to put on muscle, they're going to really struggle. But to make that C smaller, because the C makes the rest of your life a lot harder. The big C's are making it so you don't have that skeletal muscle mass, which helps to protect your bone, and it's important to have that skeletal muscle mass. So anybody that's on a weight loss journey in our community, and hopefully this is everybody, we're protecting your skeletal muscle mass. That's why it's so important to not lose the weight too quickly, to keep getting your protein, to keep exercising. And the fun thing about this, in my opinion, why I love this so much, it's so much less about what you can't do and what what you don't do. Here's what you need to do, like that chicken breast. Like, you need to get this much protein. It's less about like deprivation and deficit, and more about like strategy. And it's just everyone can do it. That's why I like it too. Everybody can do it. It's really, it is something that everybody, vegetarians, everybody can do a version of trying to put on muscle. And you look incredible. You move so well, Lori. And I think you've done such a super job. And you kind of brushed by breast cancer. And I do want to just talk about that for a minute. So every year we do a workout where we honor our breast cancer warriors. And it feels like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like after that workout, within a couple months of that workout, I usually get a couple more messages from our students saying, "Yeah, Kelly, I came back. I have breast cancer."
So I did my yearly mammogram in July of 2023, right at the end of July. And I got the call. My doctor called me. We were driving up to move Leah into college. And she called me, and the doctor said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm driving." Luckily, Leah was in the car, and I was following her, and Bill was in the car with her. I was by myself. The doctor said, "Do you want to pull over?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, just tell me." And she told me. She said, "Well, this is what's going on." And I how do I say this? not because I don't want to minimize it, but the way I handle things is, okay, I'm going to keep everything as normal as possible. I'm going to just get through this. I didn't really want to sit in it. That's how I deal with a lot of things, is I'm just pushing forward. And that's what I did. I didn't tell Leah right away. I waited. I wanted to.
Yeah. You don't drop your daughter off at school and say, oh, by the way, I have cancer. Yeah. You did the right thing.
So that was August. I had the surgery on October 3rd, and I was out. I would wear because we were doing, well, the MEP, I love the monthly MEP challenges with the My Zone. I'm very motivated by that. And so I had the surgery on October 3rd. Oh, I kind of have a funny story to tell you about that too. But I had the surgery on October 3rd, and in my head, like I knew, I was like, okay, I can get recovered and be able to move to get my October MEPs.
You really
So
are
I'm a
crazy.
little cuckoo. And I did, because I started, as soon as I could, I started walking every morning. And October was mainly just walking. I spent the month walking. I think 6 weeks out, I started coming back to lifting. And I did radiation. I think I told Amy Byer, I was doing one of Amy Byer's programs around that time too, and I called it a very merry radiation Christmas, Charlie Brown, or something like that. I did radiation through like end of November. It ended the day after Christmas was my last. And I was.
Did you have to go every day for
Yes.
radiation?
Mm-hmm. And then
A lot.
it was a lot. It was a
lot.
lot. And I just went. Betty Martin did like a countdown with me every day. I would like the support. That's the support of my people through KBC. Like some of my favorite people in this world I met through this community. But so I finished radiation, and that was that.
You rang the bell.
Yep, I rang that bell and moved on. So now the medicine. So then in January I had to start taking tamoxifen, and I'm going to tell you that taking that medication was the hardest part of anything, and because that caused me to gain a lot of weight pretty fast. And I love to move so much. I hurt when I was moving. My body hurt. And so the oncologist said, she put me on, I was also like, I've never been an angry person. And I was also like having a little bit of rage. And like, I was out walking the dogs one day, and I yelled at another man walking his dog. And I've never done that in my life. And I thought I was going to be on the South Riding community group, like Woman Goes Crazy on Path. But so she gave me another medication to kind of cause me to chill. And then she recommended I go see the dietitian, because all of my normal things weren't working. And I do so well with accountability, the reporting, like going and seeing the dietitian each month. It works very well for me. I like going in. I like being someone saying, "Good job, Lori," and I like that works for me. The InBody, as I said before, doing that InBody every month, and I've had to do Amy's clean eating is what I've done, and then kind of what Gretchen teaches with the tracking. For me to be where I am now, I have to do them both. Before, I didn't need, I could just eat clean and stay, but now with this medication, I have to be very intentional with what I am putting in my body, and also allow for the treats. You can't go all or nothing. I have a tendency to want to be all or nothing. You can't go all or nothing. I found the special, I'm feeling good, so I always want to move, but it's like the movement is easier. So that brings me to where I am now. And I'm going to tell you, I feel the best I've felt.
Which is amazing.
And post-cancer, I feel 53, and I feel the best I think I've ever felt.
That's really fantastic, Lori. That's really fantastic. And that's very inspiring, I think, to everybody. And one of our favorite, I think you mentioned it as one of the favorite sayings too, is everything is figureoutable. And
It really is, and it's your mindset, and you have to have that. As I tell my girls that all the time, it's like the attitude is like 80% of it.
yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, and I really like what you shared about doing the variation, learning, educating, taking a piece of this and a piece of that, and never giving up, and just continuing to be on your journey, and it's not doesn't have to look any certain way, and knowing what works for you, knowing that accountability works for you, knowing that getting on that InBody every month works for you. Those are all things that are so, so important, and it really speaks to you, and it is inspiring. I would love to know, if you don't know offhand, but like, how much body fat do you think you've lost from like your highest to where you are now?
Oh, it 15%, 12 to
That's what I was
15%.
thinking. Lean now, you're very lean. And to be a D, you're petite. To be a D, you have to have a lot of muscle at your height and
Yeah.
size.
So and and that's what. So I've been lifting, like, I don't think I ever told you this, but when I was at Virginia Tech, I did 2 like fitness competitions. Like, I trained and competed that. So I've been lifting for like, and I love strength, and it's been now 30 years, 35 years. So I always would say it's there. It's the muscle's there. The other thing I can say about that is the fitness competitions. I struggled with my relationship with food after doing that. It really, really messed me up. And so that's been, so I'm going to say this too. 53, it took me to 53 to actually have what I feel is my most healthy relationship with food too.
So you mentioned this a little bit, but if is as a coach now, and I just love the idea that you're taking all of this knowledge and all of this experience and all of this education and coaching our members. This is just amazing for me, and I just having you as a resource is just excites me beyond words. And if I didn't say it yet, thank you very much for being on this podcast. I know I didn't give you much of a choice, but I was like, Lori, we have a lot of still things we need to talk about. But I would love to know, what do you think, like, the best piece of advice you've heard since KBC community?
So I really think I hear your quotes in my head. You can do anything for a minute. Everything is figureoutable.
Yep.
I feel like Amy's The Clean and Shred is life-changing. Life-changing. I feel like if we could all eat that way, most of the time, we'd be good to go. But yeah, and that, like, taking things, you can do anything for a minute. Just get yourself there. I love when you say, just get yourself there. Like Tuesday night, our cardio classes on Tuesday nights, now that I'm teaching in the morning, I'm usually like on the couch like this, but I love that class so much.
Yeah,
I love that class so much, and I love the people that are there. I hear you. I say, just get yourself there. Just get yourself there, and so that's kind of my takeaway. It's just get yourself there. Allow yourself to step outside your comfort zone. Start before you're ready. I'm doing this podcast before I was ready.
Yes, that was a great answer.
And just take advantage of all the resources. Take advantage of it and figure out what works for you. Kind of pick and choose, figure out what works, and then put it together in your own little puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's really good. Well, the other night, I think it was in our zone training class, I had shared a story about we've had lights up on the ceiling in energy since 2017. Andrew hung them on Thanksgiving, and he hung them twice, and we were there for about 4 hours, and he was very mad at me. And the ceilings are very high. It's a 12-foot ladder. Is it 12 foot? I feel like it's even more than that. Anyway, so he was clear that he was not going to rehang them, which I agreed with. And I hired someone to hang the lights, and it was an ordeal because now not only were we hanging lights, we were taking down all the old lights. And there was a lot of dust up on that ceiling. So I really spent the whole time, the couple hours that he was hanging the lights, vacuuming because the dust was just coming down. And I'm like, I don't want this dust to go under the thing. So it was like, he's pulling the lights down. I'm bagging them up and dusting and the whole thing. And then we finish, and it's 4 hours later by the time we really finish. And I'm vacuuming almost like a lot of the time. And everything's put away. And I look down and there's a penny. And I was like, Dan, do you have any money on you? I'm like, do you have change? He's like, no. And I'm like, okay, neither do I. Where did that penny come from? Like, where did it come from? So I tell my class all my stories because I do, and they probably, some of them like it. But Lori likes my stories. One of the many reasons why I adore Lori Molnar, because she always like smiles when I tell a story. And I'm like, okay, I got one audience of one. I'm perfectly happy right now. And so she said to me afterwards, she's like, Kelly, I need to tell you my penny story. So,
Okay. So my dad passed in 2018, and he was actually my stepfather, but he was my dad. He raised me, and he passed in 2018, and I struggled. I really struggled with losing him because he was, I've said this before, he was my biggest cheerleader. He was my mom's other half. I struggled seeing her without him, and so I decided to go see Lisa, who is a medium. And my mom, growing up in Jamestown, there was a community of mediums called Lilydale near Jamestown. So I kind of they heard my mom talk about how they used to go kind of for fun. But anyway, I was searching for something, for peace. And so I made an appointment, and Lisa it was a later in the evening appointment. It was like a 8:00 appointment or something like that. At the time, I was taking Leah had volleyball practice, so volleyball practice was earlier. I had dropped her off at volleyball practice and walked her in, and down on the mat, on the side of the mat, there were like 2 pennies sitting just there. And like, I wouldn't, if this story hadn't happened, it wouldn't have fazed me, but I picked up the pennies, and I think I always say, find a penny, pick it up. All day long, you'll have good luck. And went to my appointment with Lisa, and it was amazing. But one of she said, she kind of just paused in the middle. She goes, did you find pennies earlier this evening? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, that was your dad. And I got goosebumps now. I got goosebumps all over me. But she said that was him. You just need to know he's always with you. He's there. And I know he is. I know that. And now, so I never have change. I don't pay cash anymore. I never have change. I find pennies in my house all the time. I don't know where they're coming from. But I do. I find them. And at the very least, what it does for me is it keeps him present. It keeps him present. So that is my penny story. And I want to tell you, so when I had surgery, that for my breast cancer surgery, when I was going into surgery, I guess I didn't say it out loud, but I kind of was like I said, I hope the community doesn't think I'm a weirdo. But while I was like, maybe while I'm under, I called him Poppy. We call him Poppy once we had kids. I said, maybe, in my head, I said, maybe I'll see Poppy. Maybe he'll. And I guess, I don't really remember this well, but I guess when I came out of surgery and I was still under all the anesthesia, Bill said I was very upset and crying because I had not seen Poppy. I don't really remember this, but he said I was crying. I was like, I didn't see Poppy. And he kept saying, maybe that's a good thing, Lori, because if you saw him, yeah, that's just kind of who I am. And I believe they are with us, and it helps me. It helps me. And just pay attention. Pay attention to the signs.
Yeah,
yep, pay attention.
That's what those pennies are there for, Lori.
And they still do.
Those pennies are there to help you. You don't have to sell that to me. I don't know if you know this, but I went to Lisa. My friends gifted me Lisa after my dad died, and it was incredible. Like, I can't put into words how incredible it was. But one of the many things that happened was she told me there was a long line of men that wanted to see me. And I didn't, she talked to this one man was talking, and I didn't know, she asked me, she gave me a name, she gave me a letter, she gave me the letter G. And she was saying things, and nothing resonated. And I was like, no. And I wrote everything down, and I got in the car, and I was like, oh my God, Gloria, another one of our instructors. She wasn't an instructor at the time. She was a student. And I just wrote down what she said. And I just called Gloria. She probably was like, it was the same thing. It was 8:40. I go to bed at 8:30. I never drive at night. It's like all these things. And I called Gloria, and I was like, I'm just going to just stay with me for a second. And I read the things, and she just like bursted into tears. And I was like, okay. I'm like, okay. And that's, there was no way that I could have known that, or that, there was just no way. There was just no way. And he had a very specific message for her, and I gave it to her, and that was it. Yeah, I was like, the only time there's a long line of men waiting to see me. I don't know what that means. But yeah.
That means you have a lot of people looking out for you. You have a lot of guardian angels. You have a lot of people looking out for you, and that's nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, for me, like my father, I mean, it's potentially other father figures. Okay, let's end.
We could do a whole podcast on that. I could sit here and talk to you about that for a whole podcast. Yeah.
We're going to go offline for the rest of the podcast before everyone thinks we're cuckoo. But you can think we're cuckoo. It's okay. I am so grateful for you, Lori, as a student, as an instructor, as an educator to our youth at one of their most impressionable and important ages, as somebody that is a fighter, somebody that, I mean, just going back to your breast cancer a little bit, like everyone handles it very differently. And some people don't put a cape on me. I don't like that. That's not me. And that's perfectly fine. But then this year it was like, okay, yeah, I'll be a story, and you were ready. And I think that's just really important, because everybody has a different journey. We've had so many women in our community handle it differently, but you're also now an incredible resource for other women that have their own journeys. And I always, for me, everything is like real life stuff. Like that's where I get the most value, and that's the information that really means the most to me. So when I see somebody that goes through radiation, that now has more muscle than she's ever had in her entire life, despite the fact that she was a lifelong athlete, it's not like you went from not exercising and but it's just proof. It's just proof that we are in control, and that if you want something bad enough, you find a way to make it happen. Don't use diagnoses, don't use age groups, or don't use anything to classify who you are. Figure out what you want, and then figure out how you're going to do it. And you are just the perfect example of that. And having you as a coach and being such a positive, I mean, being in the studio when Lori's teaching is like, you feel like you've been like pumped up with just positivity and good energy. You notice everything. I mean, obviously you're 25 years as a school teacher, as a teacher in PE, which probably about the same to manage 25 of them as it is to manage 25 of our people. They're all over the place. They're touching each other. They're doing all the things too. Our students are no different. But you manage the room so well, Lori. It's just, I mean, somebody wrote when I posted about you being a new member of the team, and then someone said she's doing what she's born to do. And I was like, that couldn't be more true. It's everything that you love combined into one thing: music and movement and people and good energy. And I just feel really, really fortunate, and I take nothing for granted. And I know you could go anywhere and do anything, and you have chosen to give your gifts to our community. And I just want to say I'm very grateful for that. And I look forward to lots of great Lori Molnar classes in the future.
I love it. Yes.
Always a better class when you're in it.
I appreciate the community. I appreciate the opportunity. And I appreciate your
Patience.
patience with me.
I've never seen someone.
It
I
might
never
be
had
in
to do
terms
so
of,
little.
like,
Patience.
well, I just,
Oh, patience in getting your certification. Okay, fair.
yes,
Fair.
yes,
Fair.
yes. And, but I am, this past year, I've been really trying to do things that challenge me, and it's all about what brings me joy. My word, you probably won't remember this. My word was me.
Yeah, I do remember
and
that.
I was like, oh my God,
That's so not you, which is perfect to have that be your word.
And once I really stepped back and thought, what do I want? I want to work at a winery, and I want to teach classes for KBC. You know what I mean? Like, so.
You're amazing. We didn't even talk about the winery. They'll have to have another winery.
We didn't even, yeah.
You and Meg are a lot alike.
But,
It's good people.
So.
Good people. That's what you are.
Yes.
Any parting words for our Start Before You're Ready podcast community, Lori?
Well, one, start before you're ready. Just take the first step, and find some joy in every day. Find your joy. Find what motivates you.
Okay. Now Lori gets to go back to being a middle school teacher and finding joy.
Yes.
I love you so much, Lori. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today. You are awesome. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Start Before You're Ready. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend who might need a little motivation. Ready to start your own journey? Check out our workouts and nutrition coaching programs at kellysbootcamp.net. You can choose from in-person sessions or virtual programs. Set up a complimentary coaching session to get started. Follow along with me and the show on social media at Kellys_bootcamp. Until next time, this is Kelly Young reminding you that the best time to start is always now.